The haunting mystery of the last Roanoke colony. What really happened? The colony was silent. The houses stood untouched, their wooden frames still standing against the harsh winds. But inside there was nothing. No people, no bodies, no signs of life. Just an empty village frozen in time. John White stepped forward, his breath heavy, his heart pounding in his chest. 3 years. It had been 3 long years since he had last seen them, his people, his family. He had promised to return to bring them food, supplies, protection. But now, as he walked through the abandoned streets of Roanoke, his worst fears clawed at his mind. They were gone. Not a single soul remained. No screams echoed in the distance, no footprints marked the dirt. It was as if 117 people had simply walked away and vanished into thin air. And then he saw it. A single word carved into a wooden post, CROATOAN. White's breath hitched. The silence around him grew heavier. What did it mean? Was it a message, a clue, or was it a warning left behind by those who had witnessed something too terrible to speak of? His fingers traced the rough letters, his mind racing. And that's when the wind shifted. The trees groaned, the ocean roared, and suddenly the air no longer felt empty, it felt watched. Something was here, something unseen, something that had taken them. But what? What had happened to the last colony of Roanoke? This is where their story truly begins. The ocean waves roar violently, the wind had grown fierce, and the dark night concealed a secret so deep that it remains an unsolved enigma to this day. This is the story of the Roanoke Colony, an entire settlement that vanished overnight, leaving behind no trace, no clue, just a single word carved into wood. CROATOAN. But this was not just a word, it was a whisper from the past, an unfinished tale that even after centuries remains shrouded in mist. It all began in 1587 when an English governor, John White, led a group of settlers to the New World. England was in the midst of its age of exploration, and Roanoke Island was seen as an opportunity for a fresh start. These settlers arrived with hopes of building a new life, but they had no idea that the land they called home would soon become their final resting place. At first, things seemed to be going well. The settlers built their homes, cultivated the land, and tried to coexist with the native tribes. But as months passed, their supplies began to dwindle. This was an era when tensions between Native Americans and European settlers were unpredictable, sometimes peaceful, sometimes deadly. As the situation grew dire, John White made a fateful decision. He would return to England to bring back reinforcements and supplies. He left behind his people, including his own daughter and newborn granddaughter, promising to return as soon as possible. But fate had other plans. War broke out between England and Spain, delaying White's return for 3 long years. When he finally returned to Roanoke in 1590, what he found was beyond comprehension. The colony was empty, completely abandoned. The houses stood intact, untouched by fire or destruction, but there were no bodies, no signs of struggle, nothing. It was as if the settlers had simply walked away and vanished into thin air. The only clue? They were CROATOAN, carved onto a wooden post. What did it mean? Was it a message? A warning? A desperate plea for help? There have been many theories over the years. Some believe that the settlers integrated with the CROATOAN tribe, a friendly group of Native Americans living nearby. But if they had, why was there no evidence of their presence? Others suggest that the settlers fell victim to a violent attack by hostile tribes. Yet, if they were massacred, where were their remains? No mass graves, no signs of battle, nothing. Another theory suggests that the settlers attempted to leave the island, setting sail in search of a new land, only to be lost at sea. But the most chilling theory? Something supernatural happened. According to Native American legends, Roanoke Island was cursed. It was considered a land of dark spirits, a place where people vanished without a trace. Some believe that the settlers fell prey to an ancient entity, something beyond human comprehension. Stories of Wendigo, a malevolent spirit that consumes the flesh of those who enter forbidden lands, have been whispered through generations. Could the settlers have been devoured by something not of this world? Despite numerous excavations and modern research, no definitive answer has ever been found. The mystery remains as deep today as it was centuries ago. Was CROATOAN a destination or a warning? If they had truly gone to CROATOAN Island, why was there no sign of them there either? Even today, the ghost of Roanoke lingers. Historians and investigators have tried to unravel its secrets, but the more they search, the more the mystery deepens. And perhaps the most unsettling thought of all, if an entire colony can disappear without a trace, then, determined to uncover the truth, John White set sail toward CROATOAN Island, hoping to find his lost people. But destiny had something else in store. As White and his crew approached the island, the sea turned against them. A violent storm erupted out of nowhere. The waves roared, the sky darkened, and the winds howled like an unseen force was trying to stop them. Their ship was battered by the fury of the ocean, their path blocked by nature itself, as if something did not want them to uncover the truth. White had no choice but to turn back. That storm was no ordinary weather. It felt like a barrier, a force designed to keep the secret buried forever. John White was never able to return. He spent the rest of his life haunted by regret, wondering if his daughter and granddaughter had survived. Had he returned sooner, would they still be alive? Or had they already fallen victim to something far more sinister? Tongojami had gone out of Ritari. But if the settlers had indeed gone to CROATOAN Island, why was there no trace of them there either? No bones, no graves, no relics, nothing. 4 centuries have passed, but the mystery of Roanoke remains as unsolved as ever. Every new attempt to unravel it only leads to more questions, more shadows, and more fear. If 117 people could vanish without a trace, what does that say about the secrets our world still hides? And even today, those who visit Roanoke Island speak of an eerie silence, a whisper in the wind, an unseen presence watching from the shadows. Perhaps it is just folklore, just another ghost story. But if it's just a story, then where did those 117 people go?